Caitlin is a phenomenal player. I'm a big fan of hers. And so to be able to, team up with her who changed, the game will honestly be something that was so great to, kind of team up alongside of.
That might be too much fire on the court. I don't know if fans could handle that. What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. Today, we have another interview for you. I am so excited to welcome Hannah Hidalgo on the Courtside Club. As you guys know, she is one of my favorite players in women's college basketball. I just think that she is so exciting. I love her game. Notre Dame is having a killer season. They are currently number 3 in the AP ratings, and I was so excited to get to talk to Hannah. We talked about all things Notre Dame, her teammates, her WNBA dreams, what celebrities have reached out to her and have been to her games, and also her time coaching with Caitlin Clark and if she ever wants to play with her in the future. So honestly, you guys, Hannah is just such a sweet girl. We had a great conversation, and I hope that you guys enjoy the interview. Hannah Hidalgo, welcome to the Courtside Club.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You guys are having an incredible season so far. You're sitting at number 3 in the standings. How are you feeling about the season so far?
Yeah, honestly, I think that we're clicking really well right now, and I feel like we have so much more potential, and we haven't even reached our max peak yet. But I think we're getting there. We're moving along really well, especially in conference play. We're handling our business, and so honestly, it's just a blessing to have everyone back right now.
I have to ask, we're going to start off hot in this interview. Are we going to see you in the Final Four?
Prayerfully, that's the goal, especially with all my teammates, my coaches. We're here to win. We're trying to keep the main thing. And, it's not even just to get to the Final Four, but it's to win the national championship.
You guys have the momentum right now. I'm loving the chemistry, the energy between you guys. Is there anything that you do off the court that has contributed to you guys clicking like you are now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're being a lot more intentional this year with getting together and spending time together as a team. We do Bible studies. Every person goes and hosts a Bible study, and it's different for each person. So we're just rotating. And I think that's something that has really helped build our chemistry because it's something that's so intimate and it's something different from just basketball. We can connect on different cylinders and, just lock in with each other in a different aspect.
It gives you like that greater purpose also. Absolutely. When you guys are going on the court. Absolutely. So there are 2 games that really stood out to me this season. You probably know where I'm going with this, but your team rises to the occasion on these big games. I'm talking about UCONN. I'm talking about USC. How do you guys as a team and how do you specifically prepare for those games when all the bright lights are on?
Yeah, I think it's just, I think it starts in practice, just being locked in practice. And I know for every game we try and be locked in, but especially those big games, we're very intentional what we do in practice. Everyone's focused, everyone's locked in from, the starters to the next people to even the managers. Like everybody's just so locked in, especially when we come to those big games. All the coaches are locked in for the scout and everything like that. So it's really just a mindset, and it starts a week before the game even starts.
Is there anything special that you do before those games? Do you do anything to calm your nerves, or is it just in your nature? Like, this is what I live for.
Yeah, I think before every game, I'm always praying, just for the Lord's peace. I pray with my parents and everything like that. But especially those big games, I don't want to get too much in my head. So I make sure I take that time to get away from social media, delete social media, and just really focus in on my time with Christ, so I can really lock in and, kind of have that peace for the games to come up.
That's interesting because social media is just obviously such a big part of this world right now. And it's a lot of ways, it's great in a lot of ways. And then other ways it can be distracting. So to hear that you're able to take that step back from social media, that's cool.
It's big. It's very big.
So can we talk about what the scouting report is like when you are going up against players like a Paige Bueckers, like a Juju Watkins, some of the biggest names in women's basketball?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is to kind of be on a string, making sure that, if Sony's guarding the best player, making sure that everyone else is locked into making sure they're helping Sony. Because she has to guard, these players sometimes for 40 minutes. So it's like, we got to help Sonya out. Sonya's playing hard on defense. We have to be there to help her out. and whoever it is next, it might be Leah too, who's guarding the next best player. So it's like we got to make sure that we're all on the string and we're helping each other out. We're not playing selfishly, focusing about our man.
It seems like your team loves defense, and defense in a sense is become a lost art, I feel like, in modern basketball. Mm-hmm. Why do you guys click on defense? And for you specifically, you're somebody who's a smaller guard and your defense is outstanding. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just it, especially for me personally. I'm a smaller guard, so it's like I have to bring something different from these guards who are 6 foot and up, like they have the height and they can score. It's like I have to be able to bring something different, and that's I can score, but I'm undersized, so I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna lock up on defense, and it's just a different part of the game that not every player has. It's normally either one or the other. So just honing in on defense and making sure that that's our core is something that's so big, because ultimately defense wins championships. We have the ability to score, but it's like, can we get stops also while putting the ball in the basket? And so if we're just trading baskets, we're not going to win games like that. But, it's about getting the stops and then running in transition, because that's really our bread and butter.
So when did your love of defense or your focus on defense happen for you? Has this been something like since you were younger, you said, okay, I'm going to lock in on this? Is this...
Yeah. When I was younger playing AAU, it's something that I can control. I can't control the refs. I can't control my offense and how I might be scoring or, things like that. But defense is something I can always control and working hard. It's just something that's internal. And, you can control that. And so when I was younger, being the smallest person on the court, again, I had to do something differently. And so the defense aspect was something that kept me on the court.
Did it feel like when you were younger, and I know this as well, I'm 5'8", played D1, and I was like the third shortest on my team, and I always felt, and I wasn't great on defense, I'll just tell you that. So I like feel for you when I watch you play. I'm like, I don't think people realize how special she truly is to make an impact like this when you are like the girls you're facing up against are probably no shorter than 5'8" for the most part. Was there ever a time when you're coming up, your goals of playing in college, when you thought that it might not work out for you just because of your size?
No, that was never a thought in my mind. I know for other people, some people who might have even had, close access to me probably thought that I wouldn't make it higher than D2. But, that was never a thought in my mind. Honestly, growing up, I wasn't really worried about making it to college or, a dream school or what college I was going to go to. And I think that really helped me, especially throughout the process, because I didn't have my mind set on one school. My whole idea was just like, whatever God blesses me with is kind of what I'm going to take, and I'm going to be grateful for whatever he gives me. So not focusing too much on that, and just, playing basketball while you're young. Basketball is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a chore. It's supposed to be a hobby, something that you enjoy doing. So I kind of went out with that mindset every time.
I mean, it still seems like you're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I think it's working out for you.
You gotta have fun with your work.
How do you feel about those Allen Iverson comparisons?
Yeah. AI was a great player, honestly. I watched a lot of his highlights when I was growing up, so he was lethal. But it's a blessing to be able to be compared to, greats like him or, Skylar, just some, dog players like them.
Was there any NBA player or WNBA player that you really looked up to when you were coming up?
Growing up, not so much. I didn't really watch basketball too much until I was a junior. And when I started watching, I was watching like Ari McDonald when she was going on her run during the playoffs and when she made it to the championship. So smaller players like her I really looked up to when I really started watching, because she was so much smaller than everyone else, but she made such an impact for her team.
That's kind of crazy to me that you say, like, I didn't have a dream school necessarily, and you were open to what God's plan was. And to just have to see you have come so far and in my eyes become the number one player in the country. I'm just so impressed with your game and how you've been leading your team. To put it all up to God's hands, that's pretty cool and pretty special.
Thank you. It definitely keeps me grounded, for sure. It definitely keeps me humble to make sure I'm not like, oh, I did this because of me, or this is all because of me. I'm carrying my team. Like it's never that,
Can we talk about your energy on the court?
Absolutely.
Where does that stem from? It's unmatched. I feel like you're never tired. You're always, you got a smile on your face. You're getting your team hype. You're getting your fans hype.
Right.
Where does that stem from?
When I was younger, I used to watch my cousin, and I feel like I didn't have that dog mentality. I was quiet. I did what I needed to do on the court, and then off the court, I would just go home, and it was very chill. It was very chill out in public. But then I watched my cousin, and I saw him catch an alley-oop and dunk it, and then he was just screaming. He was extremely energetic, and it was just like, it was exciting. It was so exciting to watch, and it was like, man, I want to do that. And I didn't start doing that until I was in high school. It was when I really started to kind of hone in on that, that energetic side, and, getting the fans hype, and, doing between the legs layups and stuff like that during games, things like that. It wasn't really until high school. But I think it's just a matter of making sure that you're having fun while still playing the game of basketball. And I think that's the biggest thing. That's why I'm always smiling and, laughing on the court. I might talk trash a little bit here, but honestly, it's all just fun and games. It's just entertaining for me. It's supposed to be fun.
So how were you able to balance the fun and the hard work? Because there are going to be those days when you are tired, you don't want to put in the extra hours. And I'm sure for you to get to the place that you are now, you've put in a lot of extra hours that a lot of other players haven't. So where is that motivation? How have you balanced the two, like through high school and now in college as well?
Yeah, I feel like you have to work hard. Honestly, my whole mindset was I want to be the greatest. I want to be the best of the best. I want to compete with the best of the best. And so that took a lot of hours in the gym. I feel like I didn't really start like enjoying and having fun with the game until now when I got to college. But, all through high school, it was business. It was, hard work. It was being the underdog. It was, staying in the gym late hours while everyone else might be home sleeping, doing school, like things like that. It was like, being in the gym for hours, go home, do your work, kind of go to sleep, like things like that. But that was really my mindset all throughout high school. And I feel like once I got to college, it was like, okay, now I can really start to reap the benefits of kind of the work I put in.
So in your game right now, do you feel like there is something that you could improve on or something you're working on improving on?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole bunch of aspects of my game I can improve on. My turnovers are the first thing I can name off the top of my head. Just making sure I'm taking better care of the ball. 3-point percentage is something that I can always improve on. Of course, it's improved from last year, but just being even more consistent. Getting my teammates involved, making, better passes, better reads. There's a whole bunch of aspects of my game that I can improve on.
We talk about a lot in basketball, obviously, the stat lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a couple 30-point games recently, but in my eyes, it doesn't seem like you are walking onto the court thinking score first. And you correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like you take those moments when you have them, but you are a facilitator for your team. How do you balance, okay, this is when I need to take over, this is when I need to put the ball in the basket, or what is your mindset when you go on the court and with your team?
Yeah, stepping on the court, honestly, my whole mindset is I want to do whatever I need to do to win. And whether that's scoring 30, being that dog, being that aggressive on offense, or if it's like getting defensive stops and throwing the outlet in transition, like making passes, making reads. Honestly, I'm just here to do whatever I need to do to help make my teammates' lives easier and help us to, win each game day by day.
And you got some great teammates surrounding you. So have you met, this just popped into my mind because my cat just went out of here. Have you met Olivia's cat?
I did, yeah. I remember when they first got him. So he's been around. His name is Bean. He's been around all the time.
Cute. I love it. I love a little dorm room cat.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about you wanted to be the greatest. Have you thought yet about your WNBA dreams?
Honestly, not too much. I focus on the right here, right now, kind of focus on where my feet are at right now, just taking in the moment and not worrying about, the future or the past, just being present with where I'm at.
You're talking about taking in the moment. Has there been a moment this season where you're on the court and you just felt so grateful, so proud to be where you were standing?
Absolutely. I think I try and think of that every game, but I think especially after I sprained my ankle and not playing for 2 games, it was like I was so eager to get back. It was like I really want to get back, and it was just the game that I did come back. I was like, man, I was only out for 2 games, but like it felt so long, and so just being so appreciative and really thanking God that I really have the ability to play the game every single day.
Love that. Okay, Hannah, so here on the Courtside Club, we like to take a little halftime break. and I want to do a game of starting fives with you if you're down.
Okay. Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay. So I want to know your starting 5 NBA players of all time.
Oh, geez, of all time. Okay, we're gonna do LeBron because he's the best to me. LeBron. We're gonna go Shaq. I'm gonna do. Matter of fact, I'll do AI.
Love it.
AI.
That's my favorite player of all time. So.
Really? We'll do Curry and Giannis.
I like it. That's pretty solid. So do you have Curry at the 1 or AI at the 1?
I'm gonna do AI at the 1. We'll put Curry on that.
Curry at the 2. He can run off of screens. He can light it up from 3 for you guys.
All the staggers. He can bring the, me and Liv play the 1 and the 2. We could, do a little bit of that action too. So.
Love it. Okay, so now I want to know your starting 5 WNBA players of all time.
Oh, I just did this the other day. Jeez, I might mix it up. I say BG, Brittany. I'm gonna go Sky, Asia, K-Mac. Come on, help me out.
A top 2?
Top 2.
I mean, you could throw a Maya Moore in there. You could.
Yeah, she was. Can I put me? Can I go me at the 2?
Sure. If this is you confirming your WNBA dreams right here.
Put me at the
2. So we have just confirmed on Courtside Club Hannah Hidalgo's WNBA dreams. I guess what would that be? The 2025, 26, 27 draft.
27 draft. Yeah.
Okay. And then she will be in that starting 5 WNBA players of all time. We'll take it. This is such an exciting time for women's basketball with NIL, obviously the growth of the WNBA. What excites you the most about this time for women's sports?
Oh, definitely the recognition that women are getting now. I know definitely growing up, a big reason why I didn't watch women's basketball is always hearing like, women shouldn't be playing basketball, women's basketball is boring, just women's sports in general. And just to see how much recognition we're getting from everyone, from, NBA players, from all types of male sports, from all types of fans, is something that's so inspiring. And it's really encouraging to finally see the recognition we're getting.
Have you noticed it at all in your first 2 seasons at Notre Dame, like a little uptick in just the love that you get on social or the people in the stands? Have you noticed it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I noticed it once before I even put on a Notre Dame jersey when I was just walking campus, just having people like come up and ask for pictures. They never see me play on a Notre Dame court or anything like that, but they were just coming up saying they love women's basketball. They've been fans for years and, can get an autograph and things like that. So, yeah, I've seen it before I even put the jersey on.
So let's talk about you choosing Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. It came down to, can you tell me the handful of schools that it came down to?
Yeah, it was Notre Dame, Duke, Stanford, Ohio State.
Okay, so some big names there. What put Notre Dame ahead of the rest?
The chemistry I felt. I'm a big family person, and once I got on campus for my official visit, we went to Coach Ivy's house, and it just really seemed like a family, Charlotte Lewis, she's a member on staff here, and I remember her from my visit. Even like when I went home weeks later, I was like, there was this woman, she just had so much energy, but it really felt like a family. And even for Coach Ivy, she was the biggest reason that I came here. She was so consistent throughout the whole recruitment process. She really made me feel welcome and wanted and at home. And so that was the biggest thing when I was choosing was what coach do I feel the best connection with? Where can I really feel at home?
It's hard, right? Because I feel like a lot of girls might not know when you go into that recruiting process, there are some schools that will just tell you what you want to hear.
Absolutely.
So trying to decipher, okay, what is the best fit for me? Is there any advice that you would give to younger girls who are getting recruited right now when it's time for them to make that decision?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that's so big because that's what I've heard when I was going through my recruitment process was, coaches are going to do whatever they can to get you at the school. And then once you're there, it's like on to the next, like you're just a regular player now. But it's not like that here at Notre Dame, Coach Ivy, she takes care of each and every single one of her players. Every player is different, and she makes sure to have a connection with each player, and she's really a player's coach. But, I think the biggest thing that was for me when I was going through the process, and for younger girls that are going through the process now, is to ask outside sources, ask people that might have transferred, ask, people who might know the program and things like that. What type of person is this coach? How is the staff? How is the team? What's the dynamic? Things like that. Because, you can really get a lot. You're only going to see one side from the school that's recruiting you, but you'll really get the truth from other people who might have transferred or who are outside sources. But also another thing is people have different experiences with colleges. So it's big to make sure you're asking multiple people.
Another Notre Dame alum, Arike.
Yes.
So I heard in that game winner that she hit, you were rooting against her.
I was, yeah, absolutely.
And now you guys are buds.
Yes, I was. I wasn't watching women's basketball like that. I know I was younger, so yeah, I was just like, what team is everybody cheering for? Okay, I'm gonna cheer against them. That was really it.
So what was that like when you met Arike? So I saw a clip where you're announcing your partnership with Red Bull. Arike's also with Red Bull. You guys met, she surprised you, and it almost looked like you sized her up a little bit. You said, wait a second, you're a little shorter than
Yeah.
You got competitive immediately.
Absolutely. It was really just I heard you were 5'10", 5'11", you're almost my height. So it was just it was really just man, you did all the stuff that you did, and you're still doing all the things that you're doing now in the W, and you're my height. And it was just I didn't expect her to, be almost my height. I thought she was, towering over me.
They like to add a couple inches on the roster.
Yeah, they do, but they throw mine down. I'm really 5'7". They put me at 5'6". But, I like that because when people meet me in person, they're like, oh, I thought you were shorter than, what it says. So
the bun, gives you a little bit. Is there anything that you've talked to Arike about, any advice that she's given to you?
We haven't really talk deep one-on-one like that. But she's very encouraging, just kind of telling me keep going, how she's supporting and things like that. And it's honestly always so great to have, the greats and people that have come through the program to say how proud they are of you and how they're supporting and how they're watching and they're cheering us on. It honestly makes you feel, really welcome, really warm to kind of have that support from greats like that.
And I think, was it even that UConn game when Skylar was there? The yes. Most recent UConn
Everybody
game?
Was there. Everybody. It was Jewel, it was Skylar, it was Deb, Arike, it was everyone. It was Marina.
What was their reaction to it after the game? Because, you'd see the clips on the broadcast where they'd pan over and Skylar would be up cheering, getting you guys hype. And she's also someone who seems so competitive on so many layers. Yeah. But what was that energy like to have all of them in the building?
Oh, it was so different. Just the fans, I think they were more excited to see them than they were to see our game. But it was just the energy that they bring is something so different. How they were on the sidelines, what you saw is, how they were after the game, because, that's a big rivalry. So it's you beat UConn here at Notre Dame and it's wow, you just won a Super Bowl, So when we won, I went up to Skylar, I hugged Skylar, man, she was just, she was talking, she was encouraging me, she was hyped, everybody was hyped. Then they all come into the locker room, they're talking, they're super hyped. Just, the energy that they bring is just so different.
That Notre Dame blood runs deep and forever.
It runs deep and it goes far.
It's actually crazy because when I was growing up, it was always Tennessee, UConn. And Paige was recently asked about that in an interview. She, because they were playing Tennessee and they said, does that rivalry still stand? And she said, you know what? It's Notre Dame now.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Speaking of players and celebrities, has there been anyone else who has reached out to you and complimented your game that you just thought was really cool?
Oh, there's a couple. I'm tripping. There's a couple. It was Dame. He commented on my game. KD, my first year in Paris. commented on my game. DT, after the UConn game last year, she had came up to me after the game. And even Drake, that was something that was like, oh wow, like this is fire, like this is awesome. You got Drake. I listened to him growing up. So
what did he say? Do you remember what he said?
He was just like, I think he had posted me like on his story, saying something because I had his sweatshirt on, his Nocta sweatshirt, and so he had posted she's a dog, something along those lines about my game.
That's crazy. Can you talk about meeting Diana Taurasi for a second? Because Diana Taurasi, she has this aura about her, and she's been around for so long. I watched her at UConn growing up, and she was easily hated because she's so good. And then you meet her, and she's like one of the coolest people ever. My mind changed completely. So what was that like talking to Diana?
She was so chill, and it was really brief, but it was just like, I just beat UConn. I had like 34 that game, and she was just like, man, you didn't have to do my team like that, whatever, blah, blah. And so, it was really chill. It was really playful, but that how she was able to, just come up to me and give me props for the game. And she was so chill. I didn't even know that, she was at the game. But, it was awesome for her to be able to come up to me after and speak to me.
She's one of those people when you earn her respect, that's like, it means a lot because she doesn't give it out easily,
Absolutely.
So you recently got to spend time with one of the biggest stars in all of sports, in Caitlin Clark. You guys were coaching a game together. Mm-hmm. How was that?
Yeah, honestly, it was awesome. The whole experience was just great. We got to work with kids who were a little challenged, and so just to be able to see their reaction, they knew Caitlin Clark from previous years that she had come. So just to be able to watch their interaction with her and how excited they were to, meet her and kind of talk to her again, honestly, was just something that was so cool. But they were lit. Like the kid hit like 2 back-to-back threes to get an and one, and like we were really just turned. So the energy in the building, I think it could have been because Caitlin Clark was there, but the energy in there was just phenomenal.
I feel like both of you could feed off of each other's energy. Is that someone you would maybe like to team up with at some point in your career?
Oh, absolutely. Caitlin is a phenomenal player. I'm a big fan of hers, and so to be able to, team up with her, who changed, the game just tremendously, and how she still is changing the game, will honestly be something that was so great to, kind of team up alongside of.
That might be too much fire on the court. I don't know if fans could handle that. You two and the 1-2 punch, that would be a crazy, crazy backcourt.
That would be so exciting.
Okay, Hannah, well, I know that you are so busy, but before I let you go, I have a couple buzzer beaters for you. Okay, so who is one person that you would love to see sitting courtside at one of your games?
Jasmine Sullivan.
Okay, I like that. Do you play her pregame?
What? I love her music so much.
Okay, we're going to tag her in this clip. We got to get her out to Notre Dame. Okay, so who is one person, dead or alive, that you would love to sit courtside with?
I would love to sit courtside with Kobe.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he's a favorite in that question. There's, man, RIP to a legend. Yeah. And what is one event in history that you would have loved to sit courtside for? This could be a sporting event or other.
Like,
you just get that courtside view of anything in history.
I would love to have been courtside with Jesus. Something with Jesus doing a miracle or something like that. That's my courtside view I would love to have.
First question you'd ask him.
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. I wouldn't ask no questions.
You just say thank you first,
Yes,
questions later.
That's it. Well, forget the question.
Yeah. Hannah, well, thank you so much again for taking time out and coming on Courtside Club. Let everyone know where they can find you on socials or anything else that you're working on that we should be aware of.
Yeah, you guys can find me at hannah.hidalgo3 on Twitter, IG, and TikTok.
Tune into the TikToks for all of the dances. I love
all of
the
them. Dances. Got you.
I got your pregame lead up too to one of the games, and you forgot to film USC, but I got to see you need to do more of that.
I was locked in. I was so locked in. I recorded all the way up, and then once we got off the bus, I completely forgot. I was like, it's game time.
Yeah, yep. Social media is gone. We got to go win.
Social media's done.
Yeah. And you did. Well, Hannah, I hope to see you guys going all the way this season. You have a huge fan in me, even though I'm from Ohio and I'm an Ohio State fan.
Oh, Ohio State.
But for you, I'm a Notre Dame fan.
Thank you so much.
Good luck the rest of the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.